So, on the day that Ben White signs a new long-term deal at Arsenal Football Club, we are instead talking about the fallout from his international rejection. And when I say international rejection, I'm talking about Ben White rejecting an international call-up from Gareth Southgate for the England national team. For those that don't know, Gareth Southgate announced his squad today, and he was asked in the press conference about Ben White's inclusion and the future inclusion, and whether, obviously, he hasn't been in the squad since the fallout from the World Cup, and the journalist basically asked Southgate, is there a way back for him? Are you gonna pick him again? And Southgate just was honest and said Ben White doesn't want to play for England no more. He said Edu called him and one of his colleagues and informed him of his decision. And Ben White seems like someone who will stand by it. I mean, we're talking about a guy that's as good as he is at football, and this is just weird in itself. He's not a big fan of football. You don't watch it. And the fact that he's such a good player, but despite having no interest in football, it's just, that should be a case study in itself. But I almost feel that's the reason why he is so good, because he doesn't let the pressure get to him, because anything that's said about him in the football sense, it's going to mean absolutely nothing to him. So, yeah, I mean, long may it continue, man. Ben White is someone who I rate very highly. He's very rarely lower than a 7 out of 10 every week. Trust me. This guy is our most consistent player in the team. Defensively, he's sound. You never see him getting roasted in a one-on-one by anybody. Anyone. The most dangerous wingers. He's faced the most dangerous wingers in the league, and he's been comfortable in most situations than not. He's got flair. He's got technique. He's a brilliant crosser of the ball. He links up well in the attacking sense. He links up well with our midfielders, particularly. Well, Saka's not a midfielder, but his relationship with Saka on that right-hand side is part of the reason why we're so devastating. Part of the reason why we've been blowing teams away. Yeah, he's just a quality player, man. And he's very underrated as well. I don't know if it's because of the way he looks or what, but he's a player I feel doesn't get spoken about enough in any sense of the word. And he also gets overlooked at times, and he gets unjustly criticised by some, and it just blows my mind, because that includes Arsenal fans as well. It's not just like rival fans having a dig. I've come into contact with Arsenal fans who say this stuff about him that is just not remotely true in any sense. I mean, I was talking to an Arsenal fan at the pub one time, and he was saying you can't leave Ben White in a one-on-one situation against any tricky or fast winger. And I turned to the guy and I was like, mate, I don't know who, you must be talking about another player, because Ben White is one of the best defenders I've seen in a one-on-one situation, bar none. In recent times, anyway. I mean, for me, he's the best right back in the country at present. I don't know how anyone can dispute that. No one can pinpoint a Ben White performance and highlight, oh, that's why he's shit. I want to challenge anyone who's watching this video to tell me of a moment where Ben White was shit, or Ben White wasn't virtually flawless in the game. I don't really see him do many errors. I don't really see him, like, everyone misplaces passes every now and then, but he's someone I don't really see any flaws in his game. I rarely see him make a mistake. And if he does lose the ball and make a mistake, or he's quick enough and he's good enough in the tackle to win the ball back in, like, instantly. He's just a quality player. His reading of the game, I think he's got so many facets to his game that's just so overlooked. I mean, he'd walk straight into that England team. And that's why it's kind of... So going back to this whole situation with Ben White not wanting to play for England, Southgate said in his press conference that he was quite reticent in his answer. So to me, that seems like it's a firm no. And it would only be like a firm no if there was something behind it. Now, something happened in Qatar. And since then, the whole football world is puzzled. No one really knows what happened, why he was sent home, who he fell out with. Because the rumour we all heard is that he fell out with Steve Holland, who was England's assistant coach. But Southgate came out today and said that it had nothing to do with him. So who has it got to do with? Because that would have made sense. And Ben White's the type of guy, I don't know him, but if he's not a big fan of football, if he's at the England training camp and he sees something he don't like, he's just gonna think, fuck it. I'm not like, I don't want to be here anyway. This don't really mean much to me. I'm not like, he's obviously not a patriotic man. If you don't watch it, he doesn't watch football. I doubt he watches international football, because I watch a lot of football and I struggle with international football, so I know he isn't. And it just seems like the England national team doesn't mean that much to him. So, yeah, he'll be out of it. And he's a professional guy. I mean, if he's picked and there was no situation that occurred, he'd be turning up every week. This guy didn't make any sense. He'd be turning up for England. And 100%. I mean, this guy turns up for Arsenal week in, week out and puts in 7 out of 10 performances at least every single week, or at least like 99% of the time. He's like the most consistent player in our team. But like, other than like Declan Rice and people and Saliba and Gabriel this season, he's way up there with our best performers, man. Yeah, man. So I want to know what happened on that particular England camp, and I feel like it is bad. And I got the impression from Southgate that he wasn't being 100% truthful. And obviously I understand why he's not, because you can't reveal everything. Like, this might be a situation where if it gets out, it could be it could be trouble. But I'm not accusing anyone of anything. But one thing always kind of springs to mind about this whole relationship Ben White has with the England national team and not wanting to be there. But I don't know if you remember our game against Manchester City. At the Etihad at the end of last season. Ben White had a little altercation with Phil Foden. And we don't really, and that wasn't really, I don't think there was anything that happened in the game, because I didn't really see them two match up against each other in the game. But Ben White walked behind him and aggressively grabbed him by the collar, is like by the scruff of the neck, basically, and kind of like pulled him to. Go check it's all over social. It's probably YouTube somewhere, but go check the video. Right, Ben White basically grabs up Phil Foden, and then Phil Foden like pushes him, and then have a look, and then like players get involved and all of that. But why do I get the impression that whatever happened on the England camp had listen, I don't know, innit? This is speculation. But I'm getting the impression it has something to do with Phil Foden and the Man City boys. Because I don't know if you noticed something else as well. Because in that particular altercation I was talking about, Jack Grealish, who was also part of the England squad, he ran over and he was saying something to Ben White. And to me, the whole altercation, the whole interaction kind of seemed like there was history there between the set of players. I don't know. And then Carl Walker was piping up a little bit. And just who was involved kind of looked a bit suspicious to me. So I've always looked at that and thought, all right, it must have something to do with them boys. But then I see Saka's quite cool with them as well. So I'm pretty sure if there was an actual problem with the City boys, Saka wouldn't be cool. But I don't know. It's just all speculation, isn't it? Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if like we hear what really happened and it's got something to do with that little altercation or the people involved. I don't know. But yeah, it's a strange one. And listen, I mean, I don't mind England, innit? But I personally couldn't give a shit if he goes to the Euros or not. I mean, all that means he's going to be fresher for Arsenal. And to me, I'm club over country all day, every day, and I can't express that enough. And I don't know how to express that more. Like, listen, Ben, you're home, you stay home, innit? I mean, we love you. You know what I mean? You're good with us, man. You're safe at home, man. You don't need to go to England anyway. Just concentrate on your Arsenal career, keep ripping it up, and be successful with us. Because at the end of the day, it'll probably mean more to you, and it'll definitely mean more to me if you're successful, if you win stuff with Arsenal rather than winning stuff with England. All right, so keep doing your thing. If you like the video, subscribe and all that jazz, and I'll see you later.